Yeah, and that was the idea, just to kind of have a place where at least it could all live, you know. So if so you're not like drastically searching for stuff. Like you can be like, oh, okay, that band, and there it is. There's their discography.
How
The
long did it take
discography.
you? Wait, sorry, go on. You go.
No, like the discography thing is tricky too, because it's like, there's certain bands you know how they started, and it was like the same process. Like, cool, you had a demo tape. Then if you took it one step further, you had a 7-inch, and then if you were like, like in my, at the time you're like, dude, you have a CD with your music on it? Like, holy shit, you made it, like, and that was like kind of the process of these bands, if it would either end at the demo tape or end at the 7-inch or end at the CD, and it's like, all right, so now you have to figure out what was their actual discography, because there's other bands, like especially when the internet started getting into it, like, there'd just be random MP3s flying everywhere, or like you could download fucking like Real Audio Player to to listen to like a 30-second clip of it, like, so I would, every time that would pop up on a shitty website, like a GeoCities website, I would constantly download that shit. Wow. Like just back in the day, because I was like, just, like, who knows, like not who knows, but it's like, like this is the only way I could listen to this music at the time. You know what I mean? So, the other resource I would use is there's that Wayback Machine, like that internet database,
okay,
like where you can look up old websites.
What? Oh,
dude, yeah, I'll send you the link. But so I would go, like, let's say there was like, back in the day there was those websites like ska.com or whatever, where it would just be like a database of bands, or like ultimate band lists or whatever. And these are like 90s websites, But they had like all the bands from like this NJ Ska was one of those sites that had, like, it was just like a show listing site, but also by the list of the bands. So they're like, all right, I need to find out if, what was Lane Meyer's discography technically? Like what did you guys actually put out,
Right.
And make sure, like, do I have it all? Am I missing something? So like I go to that site and you could actually, it's like, it would take screenshots of like those old websites from the 90s or whatever. So I'd go in and be like, okay, so look, oh, good, Lane Meyer had an actual link on your website that had discography, so I would check, I would be like, okay, am I missing something? I think I hit you up maybe a year ago. I was like, yo, there's this fucking demo tape you put out in '99. Like, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, do you have it? You're like, dude, I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay, well, I'm off to a bad start. But yeah, so I ended up tracking that down. This kid Jeff in Pennsylvania hit me. I was like, yo, I actually have this tape. And I was like, cool, send it. So sent it, and we got it up there. But so I would kind of check it that way, where I was like, all right, so I want to make sure, and there's still stuff missing, and I'm trying to fill in the gaps here and there.
That's crazy.
because there are so many bands. I mean, like, just like right now, like number wise, like there is just based on what is up there now, there's like 430 bands accounted for on that database essentially, and that's just like, that's not counting the comps. Like, that's just bands that have put out some sort of a release. And again, this kind of goes past like the time frame that we're talking about and before a little bit.
Yeah, like
it covers from like 94 to basically when Pure Volume and MySpace became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it goes up to like 2006, 2007, like, because that's at that point, like, a lot of the stuff kind of lives in some capacity, but a lot of those sites, like even Pure Volume, MySpace, they're gone. They're there technically, but the content is not there. So like, if you go to like a band we used to like tour with between 2003 and 2007, you can't find their music online. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, I got to figure out a way to get that on the internet somehow too. You know what I mean? So just kind of like, it just keeps going and going and going,